and welcome to Let's Collaborate, a podcast from the Southwest Doctoral Training Partnership. I'm your host, Catherine McDonald, and joining me for this episode is Dee Liu from the University of Bristol. And Dee is looking at how corporations respond to product recall crises. Dee, could you tell me a bit more about your research?
Yeah, thank you. It's my honor to speak here. My research tried to explore how the corporations respond to product recall, especially focusing on whether corporations would choose reshoring as a kind of strategic choice. And as we know, product recall is a procedure we identifying and removing the tainted products from the circulation in the supply chain. So it has been identified one of typical product failure. So a corporation will do lots of response to it, like including the research and development efforts, using podcast advertising and use other actions to respond to it. But now, there's little research focused on whether the company will reshoring their production to their own home country to respond to this kind of issue, because outsourcing and offshoring can increase the probability of product recall. So my research will try to bridge this research gap to explore whether there is a relationship between product recall and reshoring activity, and how does this relationship is like, and what's the dynamic and what's the implications.
And so what made you want to do this research? What was your motivation?
Yeah, so product recall as kind of typical product failure is really important to consumers because it will detrimental to consumers' health, and it will cause financial cost to the stakeholders. So it's not good to consumers and not good to corporations and not good to the public and the government. And previous research, they have did research on corporations' response to product recall, like increasing their research and development, do some post-advertisement actions to make up their mistakes. But there's little research focused on whether they're reshoring to the home country to reduce the future recalls. So I find this is a great gap, and I'm happy to do more research about it.
And how are you actually doing that research? What are your methods?
I use quantitative method, especially the econometric models. So currently I'm working on collecting the product recall data and label whether this product recall should be blamed to the manufacturer, the retailer, or the distributor, and try to put a label on it. And then I need to collect data about the financial data, accounting data, and the firm's identification data to do the quantitative analysis and to find if there is a relationship between product recall and their reshoring, and what this relationship and how does this relationship change.
And what do you hope your research will inform or change?
I think, firstly, my research will provide implications on the factors will affect corporations' decision-making process. And second, my research will try to make a responsible future for customers. So we need to make customers' health and well-being
improved.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, Dee, I've got one final question for you.
Yeah.
I want to know what your advice would be to someone who's thinking about embarking on a PhD.
I think the first, you need to try to find your motivation, because motivation to do a PhD is really important. And you need to find why you want to do a PhD, what's your research interest, and what kind of method you are going to use, and why you are passionate about it, even for your future career services. And next, you need to do the PhD application. You need to contact someone to build your research network. And then I think you just need to do your research, do your regularly work, and try to balance your work and life. And yeah, I think it's important. You're not just a PhD, you are still a person.
Absolutely. Dee, I wish you all the best with your research. It sounds really interesting. And thank you so much for joining us today for this episode. And thank you to you for listening to Let's Collaborate from the Southwest Doctoral Training Partnership. This was produced in collaboration with Research Podcasts and recorded at the SWDTP Conference in 2023. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you receive your podcasts.